Ew.
Okay, I want to give it 20 seconds or so people can jump right in.
Okay.
I think we are live right now.
Okay.
All right, I'll get us started. Hey everyone, my name is Zach. I'm a community educator at South Suburban Family Shelter. I have the pleasure of interviewing our sanctuary family counselor, Latisha, today. So
Hello.
Latisha, thank you for being here. I know the counselors are all super busy right now from what I hear. So thank you for taking the time and doing this interview.
No problem. Thank you for asking.
So you are in the sanctuary building, but I know you are a counselor. So
Yes.
when I go out into the public, a lot of people are always very interested in that sanctuary program. So I was hoping to start off the interview by, if you could just tell everyone what sanctuary is.
Okay. Sanctuary program is a transitional housing program that we have here under the umbrella of South Suburban Family Shelter. And we work with women and children who are homeless. We do try to do DV preferred, as in, them fleeing from a domestic violence situation. Those are like our top list, but that doesn't mean that others can't get in. And while they're here, they have housing is provided for them, but also case management is provided for them, therapy is provided for them. And in the midst of all those elements, they also have opportunities to get, healthy living education, parenting courses. They also have, what is it called? I'm drawing the blank right now. The financial education piece. So they have case management. So anybody who wants to go back to school, they have an opportunity to go back to school while they're staying here. Anybody who wants to learn about different job skills, they have that opportunity while they're doing here. So they're pretty much surrounded 100% while they're walking through this program with the help of all of us, guiding them through each step.
Awesome. And about how long do most people stay in the housing program?
It is a 2-year program. Okay. Not everybody stays 2 years. A lot of people move out a lot quicker than that because some people just need to get back on their feet. So once they get back on their feet, a lot of them will decide, okay, this has served my purpose, and they move out. Once they move out, we do assist them with the moving out process. So a lot of that will have, sometimes we help with the housing deposit. Sometimes we help with furniture. We do go and check out the apartment to make sure that it is something that, one, that they can afford, and two, that it is an environment that's going to be helpful for them. And by environment, I mean, is there a Walmart close by? Is it close to a bus line? Is it close to a train line? Because anything can happen. If they have a car can break down. So we want to make sure they're being set up for success.
Awesome. That's such a great program.
Yes.
One thing that comes up a lot is the overlap between homelessness and domestic violence. And it's just such a hard process at times to try to get back on your feet without having that support system. So
absolutely,
that's something people are always wanting to know. So as the family counselor, what does your day kind of look like?
That depends on what day it is. My heaviest day is usually Wednesdays. That's when I have the bulk of my clients, and that can go all the way into the afternoon and the evenings. But a day-to-day for me on a Wednesday, it's like every hour on the hour, I have a client rotating in and out of my office when we were open, of course. And in the evenings or the afternoons, I have children's sessions. Sometimes with the children's sessions, that could turn into a family session. So I do that, but I also teach healthy living class twice a month. And in healthy living, we talk about self-esteem, coping skills. What does it mean to be in a domestic violence relationship, learning how to advocate for yourself. So it's a lot of things we talk about in the healthy living courses, but I also teach parenting class because some of them come in with a lot of guilt of being, I let my child be in this situation. And they come in to sanctuary with the mindset of, because I feel guilty, I'm just not going to discipline my child because they've been through enough. And we're like, no, this is where we go into corrective, correcting the behavior and learning not to do what was done to you and showing them what it looks like to be an effective parent, because they're not a bad parent, just an effective parent.
So you're really kind of a jack of all trades over there.
Yes. Yes. Even though we have a case manager and I'm the therapist, sometimes our jobs do intertwine, because sometimes they could be in here talking about, well, I don't know what my skills are. And because I know them and I'm doing therapy with them, I can see something in them that they don't see. So I try to help them pull that out. And they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that. And then sometimes with case management, some event may have come up that I don't know about yet. And sometimes the case manager has to talk through that situation too. So sometimes our roles do bleed a little bit, but we try our best to keep them separately and refer, nope, you need to talk to the case manager about that versus with me. So we try to do our best to keep the lines separate.
Absolutely. And just from experience, you were my parenting class teacher back last summer.
Yes, I was.
So that's,
Yes.
that's definitely a fact, even though I'm not a parent myself. It was really interesting to hear the different parenting styles and the reactions that children have as well to certain discipline styles and what you can learn from that. So definitely, it's definitely not because, you're just a bad parent or anything like that. There's a lot to it from what I remember.
Absolutely.
So has anything changed with the pandemic as far as your contact with everything? Yeah, I should really say what has changed.
Yes. There's no more face-to-face sessions right now. So a lot of work has been done by home, but because I like routine or some routine, I still come to the office twice a week and do work here at the office, and I do my sessions. All of my sessions are on the phone right now. So it's different because you can't, I'm glad that I've built rapport with all of my clients that I have, but it's still hard trying to read what's really going on when you don't have that facial expression to go with it anymore. And you're just trying to go off of what you know, or what you think they're saying, and you have to ask a lot of questions. So it's a different kind of therapy going on now, but it still happens. But it's hard when you can't see your clients and you can't, sit down face to face and do sessions. So that definitely has changed for sure. And of course, I don't get to do healthy living anymore, but hopefully that'll change, when we can do video sessions. So I can get everybody on the call together and do a healthy living class. So we'll see.
Yep, just can't stop. So you have to be flexible. So
yes, definitely.
And so that was a lot of great information. I'm hoping to maybe transition from that information. Oh, there you are.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's technology for you. I was hoping to maybe transition and just ask a question, if you don't mind, and say, what drew you to being a counselor, or specifically domestic violence work? Anything in particular with any of those two?
I know for me growing up, I always had like my young life leader, which was my youth leader to talk to. But as I got older, watching other people and other kids coming up, I was like, they don't have anybody to talk to. And of course, coming from a dysfunctional background, it's kind of one of those things you want to make sure that what you went through, nothing abusive or anything like that, but you want to make sure that nothing that you went through of not having anybody to talk to or lean on, that you want to make sure that that's not the same for other people. And coming from a African-American background, in my church, you don't go to therapists, you pray. But knowing that my mom and my dad were completely different, they were like, no, if you need to talk to someone, we'll get you someone. So I was glad to hear them talk about that. But my very first psych class, I realized, oh, this is where I need to be. I need to be in this field. Why domestic violence? I always want to deal with trauma, no matter what. I always want to deal with some kind of childhood trauma. And watching my sister go through domestic violence, I knew that this is definitely, when the door opened for this position, I was like, I want to be here. And it is hard. It can be rough, but it is definitely so much rewarding. The goods definitely do outweigh the bads being here in this agency, working with DV, for sure.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that.
Mm-hmm.
And especially because you get to work with both the parent and the kids as well. You really get to see that whole family and also, from what I understand about trauma, you being that supportive role model that's sort of in the community, so to speak,
Yes.
it's really helpful for them as well.
Yeah.
So one last question before maybe we
Okay.
turn over to those on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, go
Okay.
ahead and start asking some questions. But I want to ask, what would a success story look like for someone who's in the sanctuary program as they're leaving? What sort of things would you like to see?
Okay. Definitely a success story is one who has grasped everything that they learned from DV, from domestic violence, knowing what the triggers are, being able to recognize the red flags in new relationships that they're going to enter into, and being able to say, I am worth it. This is not what I deserve. So that is a huge success, but also being able to walk out of the program with a secure job or either a trade or something that they can rely on. That's always amazing when we see that. And we've had many success stories, but our last one, she is in a healthy relationship. She just had a baby. She's in nursing. She's about to be a nurse and she's about to get married. So her success is just huge. So if they can just walk out of here with the tools that they've learned and not just hear them, but actually apply them, that to me is what I would call a huge success.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And
No problem.
let's turn over to the comments. So we have
Okay.
Celeste helping us here. If Celeste can hear us, let's see what's
Yes,
going
I'm
on.
here. Yeah, so I'm the voice in the background reading all the comments on Facebook here. So far we've got 2 questions here. So I'm going to
Okay.
start with the first one. The first one
Okay.
says, you mentioned women. Can men also stay at sanctuary?
I'm going to say we don't discriminate, but right now it's just women and children. That's where we are. I know we were talking about when it came to like transgender, but as of right now, it's just women and children. Not saying that we wouldn't find assistance or places for the men, but I think if a man came, I honestly don't think that we would say no, but that's just me. Because, our platform is women and their children. So I'm going to say it's just women and children right now. And if I'm wrong, someone will tell me later.
Okay. So
And just
go
before
ahead.
that,
Go on.
well, I'll also just say that we do have male clients as well. So just because
Yes,
maybe the sanctuary program wouldn't take someone at that time, the counseling program would.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. And then also we have a question here that says, how many families are you helping at any given time? So maybe they just want like the average.
Okay, we have on site, we have 10 apartments. So at our place, we can help 10 women and their children at a time. But we also have those that leave the program and they can still get assistance up to 6 months after they leave. But even if they want more assistance, meaning therapy after that, because they can have case management and therapy up to 6 months after they leave. But after the 6 months, if they decide they still want therapy, then I would still do therapy, but it wouldn't be at Sanctuary. It'd be at our other remote location that we do our counseling site. So they could still do therapy. That never has to end. But 2 years in the Sanctuary program is, pretty much our top off. Did I answer that question?
Gotcha. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Okay.
10 families.
Yeah, and if anybody has any more questions, you can feel free to continue to comment them, and we'll answer them in the comments even after the video is over.
Yeah.
So we
Also,
we got one.
sorry.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say what our referral process is, indeed, just to get into Sanctuary, because I don't think I talked about that. To get into Sanctuary program, you have to make sure that you are coming from a reliable source. So that could be a community organization, a shelter, a hospital, somebody that's reliable that you've been working with, that's going to call us and get on our referral list to be able to be a client here. So you can't just call yourself and be like, hey, I'm looking into trying to get into Sanctuary, because we'll take the call from you, but we're going to ask you to make sure that your caseworker or whoever referred you is the person that's calling us, not you. So, and you also have to make sure that you have, because we don't accept people, women by themselves. You have to have a child or children 18 years and younger that are coming with you. And you have to definitely be uh, fleeing from a domestic violence situation or just homeless, because it's not always domestic violence. So that is definitely what our referral process looks like.
Good information. Good information.
Mhm.
We've got a couple of questions rolling in now.
Okay.
So we've got, after completing the program, is counseling still available if needed?
Yes, counseling is still available. Like I said, they can still come to the sanctuary program, the sanctuary location, 6 months, up to 6 months after they have left sanctuary. But if they need and want therapy longer than that, and this is including for family as well, so your children can still get therapy as well. If they're deciding that they want it after 6 months, then we would just move our sessions to our counseling location that we have and in Homewood, and we would just meet over there, but we would still meet. So yes.
Gotcha. Okay, this is a good question. So
Okay.
what are some emotional barriers the families you work with experience that may interfere with their therapy, with your or other services like case management or the healthy living questions?
I would say two things: guilt and not fully have letting go of their abuser. Sometimes those are two things, because that guilt, for one, messes up or interferes, not messes up, interferes with a lot of the therapy that happens, because sometimes it's, well, this was my fault, I did this, and why did this happen? But once the therapy starts happening and we're able to start breaking down and recognizing those red flags and those triggers and those things that they did not see, then the guilt starts becoming a thing of the past, something that doesn't hold them up from being emotionally free and available to actually do therapy. In healthy living, in our classes, sometimes the one thing that holds them up is embarrassment, because they're not ready to talk about what they've experienced, whereas some of the clients are free and they're like, this is what happened to me, this is what, I experienced, and they're fine with talking about it. But some are not ready, so sometimes they would just sit in the class and just soak everything in. But when it comes to after we've soaked everything in class, then we can also dissect it in one-on-one therapy. So it's I would say guilt and embarrassment, those are the two biggest things that sometimes holds up the emotional breakthrough for a lot of our clients.
Okay, so I know we talked about what is the average number of families you work with. We've got a question here that says, what's the average number of kids with the 10 families? So that probably ranges from all over the place.
It does. I literally just closed down, shut down a lot of cases just now. But as of right now, I'm sitting here looking at my list, and I have a total of 22 kids that can't, no, not 22, 19 kids that can and do receive some kind of therapy. So if their parent at any given time decides, hey, I want my child to do therapy, they can have therapy. Who I work with right now, I would say on the regular is about 6. I'm looking at them 6. Because it's either through parenting or through their mom asking for some kind of assistance, or just direct therapy with the kid or family sessions. As soon as the parent is admitted into the sanctuary program, we do a evaluation and assessment. And once we do that on all the kids, no matter what. And if the mom, unless the mom says, nope, I don't want my child to do therapy, then we probably won't open up a case. But everybody's case is opened up on that session. So that happens as soon as they get in. So on average, that number can go anywhere from 1 to 22 of who is on case, being in therapy, family sessions, group therapy. A lot of those things could be all in going concurrently.
Okay, and all these services are free of cost, right?
Absolutely, free of cost, yes.
Okay, so we've got one last question I feel like is a really good question to close off.
Okay.
So we've got, how can us as a community help sanctuary families?
Okay, for us, we're always, that's just all of our whole programs, South Suburban Family Shelter and Sanctuary. Donations, definitely. We also invite others who want to come in and teach different skills that our clients should know about. financial education. What does the law say when it comes to domestic violence? How to advocate for yourself when it comes to domestic violence, and when it comes to the legal system. We also, like I said, household needs, because we prep everything for each apartment when each client moves in. So when they move in, they literally only have to move in their clothes. So we have, couches, everything is supplied for them, from kitchen all the way to bathroom needs, even all the way down to hair products. So we ask for donations and making sure the parent and the child move into a comfortable setting, and that they don't have to worry about, oh, I don't have any washing powder, oh, I don't have, face towels to, take a bath with. So we make sure that all those things are provided for each client. So I would definitely say donations. We also, gas cards, those kind of things, and Uber, and going to the grocery store, because sometimes that's, they're just getting here. Sometimes their benefits, if they have any, have not kicked in yet. So a lot of them need to go to the grocery store. So we have to try and provide all these cards, Target, Walmart, those things, so they can be able to get food and supplies for their kids while they are here. And so those are our huge things and our huge needs of how we would definitely like to receive support when it comes to sanctuary.
Thank you, Latisha. That's really good to know. If anybody would like to donate, you can feel free to call our organization. You can comment on Facebook, send us a message, and we can for sure let you know what it is that we need at the moment. But we do have one more question if there's time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think this is a good question as well. What if a child is experiencing serious trauma? Do they have rights even if the parent disagrees?
We always try to make sure the child has rights.
Yes.
Anybody that is 12 and under, of course, it's a program called Safe from the Start. So actually 6 and under, 5 and under. So it's 5 and under. So anybody who is 5 and under, they qualify for the Safe from the Start program. However, that doesn't just qualify the 5 and under. So if there's a 5 and under in the house and they have a 13-year-old brother, sister, 17-year-old, they also qualify. So that 5-year-old qualifies everybody in the family. So if anybody's dealing with any kind of trauma or anything like that, yes, they can get therapy as well. We also try to make sure that the parent knows that if the child is seeking therapy, that they try not to hinder that. And most parents that are in this program, I have not come across not one parent that doesn't want their child to have therapy. They always ask the parent, they always ask the child, and we also do it in a family session. I try to do a family session with each client so I can see exactly what everybody wants, what are they looking for, and giving the child a voice to be able to say if they want to do it as well. So we try to make sure that everybody has a voice here and that no one is just pushed to the side. So, and that includes kids.
Okay, well, that was it for the questions. We don't have any more questions, so I'll switch over to Zach.
All right. Thank you, Celeste. So we can go ahead and close up here. Latisha, I want to say thank you again for being open about your, your life and fielding all of our questions from all directions, taking the time out. So thanks again. And everyone, thank you for listening. So feel free to share our video, like, comment, and share. All right. See you next week at 1 p.m. Thank you, Latisha.
All right. Bye-bye.